If you are a woman and wanting to become your own boss and not work, but earn pots of money, I can already hear a lot of laughter. By that I mean begin a startup, then the best city to be in today is Bengaluru, as published in the Times of India according to the Bengaluru Innovation Report 2025, co-authored by Karnataka Digital Economy Mission, which is KDEM, and a 30NE4 capital, and Startup Karnataka. The city is the best destination for women entrepreneurs. The report also highlights the comparisons between three megacities in a span of 15 years, that is between 2010 and 2025. And insofar as women startups are concerned, Bengaluru has aced both Mumbai and Delhi-NCR. During this period, Bengaluru housed approximately 668 women-led startups, which collectively attracted around $13.4 billion in funding, whereas startups in Delhi, NCR and Mumbai were 712 and 465 respectively, raising $10 billion and $3.6 billion. This is in itself, won't you agree, quite an achievement. There are, of course, various reasons why Bengaluru has emerged as a haven for women startups, and amongst these, the city is not only home to 53 unicorns valued at $192 billion globally, but is the fifth largest unicorn hub globally after Silicon Valley, New York, London and Beijing. The other and obvious reason is, of course, the combined heft of Bengaluru's 2.5 million software professionals, which is the largest tech workforce of any city in the world. On the one hand, we constantly hear about infra failures in Bengaluru. I've done a lot of stories, I must agree. Lack of roads, flooded roads, potholed roads, unfulfilled deadlines for repair, and on and on. And on the other hand, we have this scenario in which women entrepreneurs are surging, and like how forward. Let's find out what are the other reasons, other than the reason that when women decide to achieve anything, my God, they can move mountains. Let me now go across to Diana Das, Secretary and Spokesperson for GBIT CIA, Greater Bengaluru IT and Companies Association, and Priya Shetty Rajagopal, founder, Multiversal Advisory, columnist and brand expert, both of them joining us from Bengaluru. Thank you so much. Ladies, it's so great to have women, rather than have men speak about us. Thank you very much. Diana, this is such great news, and like I said, we've only been talking about how badly Bengaluru is doing because entrepreneurs, rather people who bring in money, like we had, lots of cases in the past, want to move out. And also captains of industry went and spoke to, the Chief Minister and Deputy Chief Minister about. According to you, Diana Das, what is that one reason that women entrepreneurs find funding so easy in Bengaluru?
I call it as focus, dedication, and the willpower to do anything. I see this as a major strength with all the women, irrespective of which industry they work for. I feel these are the three pillars that strong, very strong with any woman in any industry. That's why we are able to achieve what we are today. Doesn't matter to us whether it rained today. Doesn't matter to us whether it's traffic jam today. We know what our responsibilities. I think as women, we.
Diana, I'm having a problem with your audio. Let's fix your audio. Let me go to Priya. Priya, hi. What do you think is the reason? Of course, it's a global hub. It's unicorn. The major unicorns are here. And there is an atmosphere which is very conducive for women entrepreneurs to find funding. What, according to you, is one of the best reasons? Strength of the women, of course, that's a given. But apart from that, when you speak about starting a business.
Thank you. Sometimes, Sudha, it's just the famous accolade that it's Bangalore, it's the air we breathe. It just seems to sort of do the right things. But more seriously, let's look at some of the things that are really sort of adding huge amounts of value to the kind of fillip and the kind of almost big jump that is happening in this space. Entrepreneurship in general in Bangalore, unicorns are very high, but women in entrepreneurship is a whole different business. I was on the TIE board for a long time, and I headed the TIE Women. We did the Global Entrepreneurship Awards, and I cannot tell you the kind of people that we were fortunate enough to see. So let's look at a few reasons why this happens. There is that whole virtuous cycle of talent. You have, whether you look at educational institutions, which is a very cliched thing, but that is a fount in terms of where people are coming from. So apart from the big names like the premier institutions of the IISCs and engineering colleges and the NLS and IIMs, etc., there's a deep talent pool, and especially with a high percentage of women in STEM. So that's a big plus. The other thing is, if you look at the corporate legacy that we have decades of tech giants like the Microsofts or the Googles, or the not the Googles, the Infosys, Wipros of the world, where there's been a large skilled workforce of women that have been in tech, product management, leadership roles, and they've had the kind of soft skills and the kind of backing, and the experience that to set up. But they've also have one more advantage, which is a network. And if you look at the ecosystem, and this is important to know, I think there is a very strong investor mindset in Bangalore. It just exists. So whether you look at however mature and diverse it is, whether you look at it's probably the best in India, there's the pattern matching, just looking for tick boxes. I think investors themselves are moving beyond that and definitely moving beyond male founders. So you're looking at backing businesses that are based on metrics and scalability and founders' capability, and that's happening. There's another aspect to the ecosystem, which is the rise of women angel investors and VC partners. And you're seeing them also prioritize women in the business space. So they are not only looking at problem solving, but they're also looking at a crucial mentorship. Just today, Sudha, I was at the Bangalore Tech Summit at the closing, and I was doing a session on, between industry and academia, and it was a very interesting discussion. But yesterday was this huge room of women entrepreneurs. I mean, it was buzzing like I can't even tell you. So, it's not just about hearing it and reading about it. You've actually got to see it to believe it. The big other thing is the problem solving at scale is something which is huge, because there are real issues, whether it's in ed tech or fintech or health tech, and that kind of attracts serious capital.
Diana,
And
yeah.
have had that experience.
All right.
And of course, success breeds success that you can't really say no to.
All right.
I have to make a point about.
Well, can I come back to you, Priya?
Yeah.
Because Diana is back, and Diana, thank you so much for joining back. Diana, Priya has listed several reasons, and of course, goes to prove that, Bengaluru is very conducive for women entrepreneurs, and like how. Diana, apart from the fact that women have it in them, and it is, something which is a given. I mean, there is no gainsaying the fact. What, according to you, makes Bengaluru the city? I mean, because they say Bengaluru is the city is a Sunicon magnet. That's what the report says. Sunicon is, I guess, emerging unicorns. I mean, correct me, ladies, if I'm wrong. I'm not so great with jargons when it comes to these things. But Diana, how do you describe that? I mean, why is it a magnet, and particularly for women who want to start a business? Diana.
See, to who start a business would take such a great infrastructure by the government.
Your audio, there seems to be some network problem, which is there. I mean, let me go to, I'm so sorry for this, Diana, really sorry. I shall wait up for you. Priya Chetty Rajagopal, let me come to you. Priya, we've done a lot of reports as well, that how the IT professional, of course, the software hub, it is so huge in Bengaluru. It's not funny. It's one of the largest tech powerhouse, as it were. But then if I am an entrepreneur and I want to start something in IT, don't you think I also have an advantage, Priya, where I can hire people at a much lower cost if I compare myself with, let's say, Beijing, London and New York? Of course, apples to apples is absurd here. But overall, if you look at it, don't you think my cost of labor comes down immediately if I'm in Bengaluru?
Yeah, well, a lot of employers won't agree with you, Sudha, because a lot of people are, stunned by the kind of entry-level costs for people in business and for hiring talent in the startup industry. But yes, the advantage and the upside, which I think Bangalore has the appetite for, is the ability to kind of look at long-term gains, which is in terms of stocks or in terms of upside, in terms of your valuation and things like that. So there is a risk appetite which is there. So that's good. But cost, I wouldn't entirely agree with you. But yes, simply because of the sheer numbers, I think it's not so much the cost, so much as the access to talent and to technology and to hit the ground running kind of talent that is a big plus.
city also supports people to, supports a woman. And if I want to set up a company in Bengaluru, amongst other things, I have to see that if X is going to work for me, he or she gets a house which is cheap, which is affordable, and the city also supports it. For instance, I don't want to name some cities in the world where I could get mugged at 6 p.m. after sunset. I'm not going to go work there. I can't set up a company there. So does Bengaluru add up to that? Because I'm asking you that because there was a lot of hullabaloo, there was a lot of hue and cry, and rightly so, of saying, thank you very much, Bengaluru. I'm saying, goodbye to you because I can't work here anymore because of your roads. I'm not going to get drowned anymore.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, I think there are enough people saying this, but I can't see anybody leaving. So I think this is a lot of conversation, a lot of noise, and rightly so, because with this kind of infrastructure, we should be, sort of stabbing ourselves and saying, what nonsense, how are we going to? But the fact is, nobody leaves. This is a space that because of its sheer vibrance, its support systems, its ability to kind of ignite and excite other people to kind of move on to the next stage, that makes a big plus. So as I said, Bangalore will always have its downsides, but in terms of the sheer eclectic mix, the kind of intellectual capital, the kind of buzz that exists that encourages other people to do the same thing, which was what happened in many university towns, it happens in Silicon Valley, is something, a flame leads to a flame, and so on. But I want to highlight one or two other things, which is also, and I will also say this with, with my hat as, my previous role, which was, as head of the Thai global, Thai women Bangalore here, where I found the industry climate and the industry bodies do make a difference because they're genuinely invested, and they are backed up by one more thing, which is the government, whether it's a KDEM or whether it is the ITBT. They're genuinely invested in making things happen, and most of the bureaucrats in this space are very, very switched on. I mean, they know what's going on, they're on the ball.
Right.
I mean, look at Sanjay with. So NASCOM and Thai Bangalore, for example, Thai has been huge in terms of the women-focused initiatives, whether it's mentorship, networking, and access to investors. We just did one award thing last week. The government of Karnataka, with initiatives like, say, Elevate 100 or the startup policy, have been hugely,
Yeah, that's what I wanted. Yeah, that was what was playing on my mind. And let me go to Diana. Diana, I hope we can stay on and you can stay on with us. But how much of a support do you think in all this does the government provide? Like much like what Priya was saying, that does the government help in making it easy for the women entrepreneurs to surge forward and be an entrepreneur and get her funding?
Definitely. I have a big applaud to the government here. The government definitely supports all women employees or women who are wanting to be entrepreneurs. They do a lot of various ways of helping women, not just being within the organization, but outside the organization, right? There are a lot of CSR activities that the government, especially Mr. D.K. Shivkumar, I know for sure there are a lot of women entrepreneurs in villages. We are talking more about the cities, right? If you go back to the villages where I am also very closely working with them, we are currently training them on AI, and it's initiated by the government. And very shortly, we have this Keytronics, which we got approval in the yesterday's BTS event to go live, and we are planning to give them to a few entrepreneurs, and we are also planning to give them to a few teachers, train them. So the new laptop, the device that Keytronics is going to introduce to the market is such a user-friendly. Any women sitting at home can go ahead and start using those laptops.